guys, welcome to Mystery Vault. The film begins in the jungles of Brazil. We meet Anna, who wants to complete her mission, but her partner tells her not to, as it is too dangerous outside. Anna disobeys her partner and sets off on her bike. To complete the mission, we see two men in the jungle watching her. They decide to take the river to catch Anna. Before they can catch her, one of the men is caught by an anaconda jumping out of the water. The scene cuts to California. We see a film director, Doug, explaining the story of a film to someone. In this film, a couple will fight a monster creature and the girl will win by brutally killing the creature. But the people sitting in front of him don't like his idea. As it turns out, Doug is a wedding photographer and the couple wants Doug to take a cute video for him. Doug, who had a passion for shooting action and creature movies, is left with no dreams. Then we meet Ronald. Ronald is a struggling actor in Hollywood, and even when he's offered a small role as a doctor, which he can't perform well despite numerous takes, leading to his dismissal. While leaving the studio, Ronald sees a poster for the movie Anaconda, which was supposed to be released in 1997. The movie then flashes forward 2 days, and we see Doug's surprise birthday party at his house. All of Doug's childhood friends are present. And we also see Ronald at the same party, and it's revealed that he's also Doug's childhood friend. They used to be a group of 4, and of those 4, Doug and Ronald were struggling in their own lives. But their other 2, and of friends, Kenny and Clary, were both successful in their lives. But this time together, it felt like the 4 of them were still friends like before. Ronald had planned that on Doug's birthday, they would watch a movie, directed by Doug himself, a movie they had made together during high school. Ronald played the hero in it and had to fight a dangerous creature. In this movie, the creature was Kenny. The creature was about to attack the 3 friends, but Ronald declares, "No one can harm my friends." He picks up a gun, shoots the creature, saving his friends. Thus, their movie has a happy ending. Everyone was overjoyed after watching the movie, and Ronald wanted them to experience it again. He wanted to make a similar movie. He also had a big surprise for Doug. He had acquired the copyrights to a novel from the Anaconda novel series. Many Anaconda novels had been made into movies before, and they were huge fans of the Anaconda franchise. Ronald now wanted the 4 of them to reunite and make a low-budget Anaconda movie. The idea was great, and everyone liked it. But the problem was that after acquiring the copyrights, Ronald had no money to make the film. He told his friends that they should take out a loan and make the movie. Doug, who had to earn money to support his family, feared that taking out a loan would put his family in trouble. So he backed out of the idea, and Ronald didn't say anything to him. When he returned home, he found his son watching the movie he had made. Doug's son asked him, "Dad, you're such a great director. Why don't you make a new movie?" His wife encouraged him to follow his passion, and he discussed Ronald's idea with her, and then, after a day or 2 of boring work, he decides to work with Ronald on his idea. With Ronald's approval, they begin preparing to make the movie. They apply for loans from banks, and plan to travel to the Brazilian jungles to shoot the entire movie. To shoot this movie, they need a snake that resembles an anaconda, or even an anaconda itself. Kenny uses his intelligence and calls a snake breeder. He brings a truly terrifying anaconda-like snake, which almost scares Ronald, as Ronald had to fight a snake like a hero. He's terrified, but the snake man explains that this snake isn't poisonous, because it's not an anaconda at all. The real anaconda lives in the jungle. Ronald agrees to shoot with this snake. The scene cuts. We are introduced to Anna again, the same girl seen at the beginning of the movie. She's still hiding from the men who were after her. This time, she even enters a bar and notices that the man has followed her again. There, she steals the keys to a yacht and, escapes. This yacht was actually arranged by Ronald's group so they could shoot the film deep in the Brazilian jungle. Anna lies to them saying, "I'm your driver." Thus, they escape the area with the snake, evading the man who's after them. They also move the snake into their yacht. But the mistake is that the snake's box breaks while keeping it there. Now, they reach the location where they were supposed to shoot. Many scenes are shot with Ronald and Clary, but they have a lot of fun doing it. Night falls and Ronald is asleep when he suddenly hears the sound of something crawling. As he turns, To look over at his bedside, he sees a huge anaconda. He screams loudly and everyone gathers. It turns out it wasn't a real anaconda. It was the same snake that had escaped from its cage. The man who owned the snake. They start taunting the man, who apologizes to Ronald and the group, saying it was his fault. He should have checked the snake's cage again later. He tells them, "This snake will never bother you again. I take responsibility for it." Morning arrives and it's shown that Ronald was supposed to shoot with the same snake that day, but Ronald was terrified. The scene required Ronald to catch the snake with his own hands and also speak some lines to his friend Clary. However, due to his fear of snakes, he can't even deliver his lines properly. He doesn't even finish the scene, throwing the snake into the water, which crashes into the fan beneath the boat, killing it. Everyone is deeply saddened by this. There was nothing they could have done. They burn the remaining snake's body at night and pray for its good afterlife. While they're doing this, one of Anna's enemies spots Anna and is about to report her to his leader when we see the anaconda on his boat, which attacks him. It's a complete anaconda, which kills him by gripping his entire body. We then cut back to Ronald's ship, where Ronald is now deeply saddened. Upon Snake Man's inquiry, Ronald explains that he is a struggling actor in Hollywood, never having landed a lead role, let alone a good supporting role. Fed up with this, he decided to make this movie. Now, without the snake, he won't be able to complete it. Hearing this, the Snake Man becomes emotional and promises Ronald that he'll catch a large snake that very night and extract its venom so Ronald can complete his movie. He then leaves to fulfill his promise, where the man sets out into the jungle on this mission that very night. The anaconda doesn't give him a moment to blink, grabbing him and dragging him into the river. It wraps itself around his body, strangling him to death. Ronald, who had been waiting for him all night, panics over his absence and goes to tell everyone about his absence. For a while, the men decide to wait for him first, but when too much time passes, they decide to go into the jungle themselves. First, they'll look for the man, and if they can't find him, they'll catch at least one snake to complete their movie, as they were compelled to do so. They've taken a large loan. Now they set out into the jungle, and Anna is with them. As they enter the jungle, they see a van and hear a strange rustling sound. This rustling sound, as it seemed to be that of a huge anaconda. They become extremely frightened. So, they hide inside the truck. Suddenly, their companion's body falls in the window, covered in blood. The sight of this leaves them breathless. And the next second, the huge anaconda appears in front of the truck. They decide to leave the place by using the truck. But the truck is no longer moving. To save his companions, Doug decides to risk his life and goes out to repair the truck. During this time, he is spotted by an anaconda. The anaconda, with its large mouth wide open, was approaching him, ready to eat him. But his companions pull him inside the truck and quickly close the door, saving him. Before they can leave, the men who were after Anna now come after them. Anna tells them that these men are mafia members who live in the jungle to avoid the police and have come to rob them. As she explains, Anna picks up a gun from the van and starts shooting the men pursuing her as if she were a real soldier. Doug is very impressed by her action style. They somehow manage to get back inside their ship, and we see that the leader who was after Anna also comes after them and points a gun at the four friends. But just in time, Anna appears from behind and fires a gun at his head, knocking him unconscious. She then tells the four men that it is no longer safe for them to stay here and that they must leave the island to save their lives. She discusses with Ronald and Doug how she can get them out of the jungle and off the island as quickly as possible so they can catch a flight back home. But Doug and Ronald tell her, "We don't want to go back because we have taken a huge loan to get here and we won't go back without making a movie." Anna, ostensibly a driver, is forced to comply and stay with them. We see Doug working on a laptop all night on the script, giving all of Ronald's main roles to Anna because Anna's style was so impressive, and he believed that if Anna played the lead role in the movie, it would be a super hit. In the morning, he shows everyone his script and explains that he cast Anna in the lead role so that his movie can soon be nominated for an Oscar because movies where a girl leads the action increase their chances of winning an Oscar. Everyone loved his idea and the new script. Ronald and Clary asked, What will our roles be? Doug explains, you and Clary will go to the forest to find treasure, and Anna will corner you, and then Anna again will save you all. After liking the idea, everyone starts shooting the new script, and Doug shoots many scenes with Anna. This angers Ronald and Clary, as Doug seems to be neglecting his own friends and forgetting them. They also realize that after all the scenes he shot with Anna, their characters will seem very small. But Doug tells him, whatever I'm doing it for the good of all of us. We have to make this movie a hit. And Anna, because if she actually performs the stunts, it would look much more natural on screen. Hearing this, Ronald becomes even more enraged. He lashes out at Doug, saying, it was my idea. You can't use it like this without me. While they were arguing, they saw a huge ship pass by carrying several famous Hollywood actors. This ship had been specially prepared for the shooting. A poster of Anaconda adorned it, and this is where Ronald's big secret is revealed. He didn't even own the rights to the movie and the novel he was talking about. Sony actually owned those rights, and they were the ones making the movie. Ronald's 3 friends were devastated by this, in having spent everything on the movie. Everyone was furious with Ronald for having suffered such a huge loss because of his lies. But Ronald tells them that because of my lie, your lives started changing. If I hadn't given you this idea, you wouldn't be here today. You would be making your boring videos, and Kenny and Clary would be busy with their useless jobs. Hearing this, Ronald becomes angry and decides to leave alone. He had decided that now he would go to Sony and make a movie with them, even if he got a small role. He leaves his friends, and they also decide to leave. Ronald was just a little ahead when he saw that the huge ship that he had seen just a moment ago was now destroyed. It lay there devastated. There was a strange commotion here. He couldn't understand what had happened. Then the assistant director appeared before him, excited to see him, as if Ronald had come to save her from something. The assistant director waved to him, and before Ronald could reach her, a huge anaconda snatched the assistant director in a millisecond. And Ronald was terrified to see this, and he immediately returned to his boat. Back on Ronald's ship, everyone else was still fighting, because Ronald had left, and Doug was insistent that he would complete the filming with Anna. But his friends were not ready to do so. They were unaware that Anna didn't want to shoot the film at all. She was still on a mission. So she takes these men at gunpoint and takes them into the jungle. We learn that Anna was an illegal gold miner and was encouraging them to mine gold as well. When they return to the boat with a large amount of supplies, they find they have collected a significant amount of gold. Anna is still holding them at gunpoint when the same man who is after Anna from the beginning of the movie arrives on the boat again. He is actually a police officer who wants to capture Anna because she is forcibly stealing the jungle's treasure. Before he can shoot Anna, Ronald, who is hiding in the jungle and is unaware of the area, shoots the officer. The officer falls down, wounded, and Anna takes advantage of the situation, shooting him dead. Then she holds everyone at gunpoint again and demands they work. At this moment, just like before, the anaconda leaps out of the water, carrying Anna away in its mouth. Anna's story ends there. This was the first time these 3 had ever seen this. They were terrified by the sight. They ran into the jungle to escape, only to find Ronald there. Panicked, they ran into the jungle and got lost. They couldn't find a way out. When they panicked and started shouting, the anaconda appeared again, attacked Doug from above, and carried away half of his body in its mouth. The sight of this shattered the 3 friends. Their friend was dead. They were devastated. They stood there in shock when, in the next second, the anaconda threw their friend's body back. They see their friend lying in a pool of blood, dead, and the 3 of them, fearing for their own lives, begin to mourn his death. After a while, Kenny snaps everyone out of it and declares, he's dead now, but we 3 must save ourselves. To save themselves, he decides to use his friend's body as bait, saying they will take the body to a spot in the jungle where an anaconda is likely to attack, thus escaping the attack. They then hang Doug's body like a scarecrow in the middle of the field, and place a pig on top of it, believing the pig, which was also dead, would be the perfect bait for an anaconda. After this, they flee. While running, they feel something strange. They hear someone screaming from behind. Turning back, they realize their friend was still alive. Not only was the friend alive, the pig placed on his head was also alive. Worse, the anaconda had also arrived to eat them. They were terrified. Doug also ran for cover, but the anaconda was quickly following them, and the pig that had just awakened on his head was also terrified. To save himself, Doug lifted the pig from his body and threw it into the anaconda's mouth. Finally, they escaped. While fleeing, they reached the same spot on the island where Sony had set up the Anaconda movie. Here we are shown that numerous bombs had been planted to kill the anaconda, and indeed an anaconda had arrived. Clary was almost killed, but the hero was still alive, and seeing the four of them, he tries to save them and shoots the anaconda from behind, just like in the movie. After rescuing them, he takes them to a set and tells them that small bombs have been planted all over the set. Find the controller and you can escape the anaconda. After telling them all this, the hero is about to leave. They ask, "Where are you going?" He explains, "My friends are out in the jungle and there are no bombs in the jungle that can kill the anaconda, and I can't leave my friends alone." While walking, they find the bomb's controller and decide to kill the anaconda and bring it back to the set. They risk their own lives and, sitting inside a vehicle, start making noise near the island to attract the anaconda. As soon as the anaconda comes after them, Kenny and Clary, seeing an opportunity, start detonating bombs near the set with the controller. But all these blasts are in vain, as the anaconda is not harmed by any of the blasts, and it again goes after Doug and Ronald. Before the anaconda can kill them all, Ronald musters courage and steps forward to save everyone's lives. He utters the same line from his childhood movie, "No one can kill my friends while I'm around." Saying this, he takes out his pistol and fires at the anaconda. He fires at a gas cylinder, causing a massive explosion. The blast rips the anaconda's body apart, killing it. Finally, all of them are saved. After this, we finally see the four of them walking out of the place together. In the movie's post-credits scene, we learn that they had shot everything as a movie, and finally, Doug had his movie aired in theaters, earning them a lot of money, and even winning awards. After making this movie, all of these people's lives had changed. They had some money. Ronald and Clary had decided to get married, and their pre-wedding shoot was exactly what Doug had wanted, an alien action thriller themed film. Ronald had finally started getting some good roles in Hollywood. Doug, no longer a struggling director, receives a visit from a prominent director who initially tells him that he made the Anaconda movie without the rights, which frightens him. But when the director tells him that she loved it so much and wants him to direct the real Anaconda movie, Doug is overjoyed. He is unable to control his happiness and faints right there. And the movie ends showing him like this.